why you and I were in total agreement, is that if we're going to do a study that has all the options, that's why you would wait for Newman to put it on there. But this board has decided to put Newman on Drake. So because they've already decided to do that, if we don't pick some parameter to look at, we'll just be looking at a wide open scope that will never get narrowed down. So we're saying it's going to be 15 years, we're going to see what those numbers are, we're going to see what those outcomes are, but right now we have nothing. And we just need some parameter to start with, and that's the one that was picked. Because Newman was already on there, we can't, the costs change because we're spending $120 million that we wouldn't have otherwise. So therefore, if you look at costs, it's a different objective. We know we're spending those dollars. How much does it cost to decommission knowing we're spending those dollars? It would have been a totally different conversation if we weren't spending those dollars. What's the soonest we could decommission? And how much would that reduce that timeline because we're not spending those dollars? But since we are spending those dollars, we really have to pick something to focus on, and then we'll adjust as necessary as the numbers come in.
So basically from the 5-4 vote, the 5 people that still say we're moving for Newman, they have limited our ability to truly be honest with the citizens, to truly make sure we're looking at all options, and to truly have our hands not tied to a certain outcome.
I resent the implication that we're being dishonest because we decided to make a decision a couple months ago. I thought we were very upfront with regards to that discussion. I thought we were very upfront with the 5 of us who voted to move forward with that, did that with the best intention for the ratepayer and utilities in mind. And so I understand you may disagree with that. That's clearly your option. Please don't imply that we're being dishonest because we're doing that.
Well, I'm just applying the 5-4 vote. To me, when you have a 5-4 vote, and it says we're moving forward, and I think every single person has been able to say, if you move forward with Newman, you've made a predetermined decision. Plus, Newman contracts have been signed for the following year. My understanding is the mayor is also supposed to sign on those. Well, he doesn't sign on the mayor on the Newman contracts. So now we've got a study, we're spending more money, and yet we're just doing this absolutely backwards.
I was hoping not to have to go through this again today. You know, we've had the same conversation. This is our 3rd month, and I just believe it's time to move forward. I think for the community's sake, for everybody's sake, and I think the decision on Newman has been made. I think we've decided we're going to do 3 studies. The first one is the sale option, which we are also going to look at other municipalities and the way that they use their assets for the cities that they're located in. We're going to do the Drake study, which includes the decommissioning. We've agreed to look at 10, 15, and 20 years and get the cost of those 3 options and to see which would work best for this community as far as, you know, when it comes to Drake, if we had done this 10 years ago, today we'd be having a conversation about what we're going to use Drake for, but it takes that long for us, a minimum of that, to close down power plant like this. And the 3rd study we've agreed to do is on governance, but it doesn't make sense to do a governance study when you're looking at a study to possibly sell utilities, because then your governance options are very different. So I think it makes perfect sense, and today it's an opportunity for this board to begin to move forward rather than keep rehashing the same conversations. Begin to move forward with the 2 studies, the one through UPAC for sale and use of assets, and the one with Drake, which begins to take a look at the long-term view of how we can decommission Drake. And
Well,
I believe that that's what's been agreed upon by us.
I understand that's been agreed upon, but you know, there's so many boards that wasn't in use. This was a 5-4 vote. That's something that's significant to actually discuss. And I don't have a problem with discussing an issue over and over and over again until I make sure we get the right answer. I hate the answer of, we've done nothing. I think that was the exact answer you used, Jan, on the first one morning. Was we've already studied it, we've moved forward. But thankfully, we did get another study and did come up with much better. And I remember correctly from the last month, Merv actually brought up the fact that he felt the Business Alliance Group should be one looking at this. And they did send us a letter. They did put actual effort into it and move forward. And now this board is completely ignoring anything that's brought forward. And I got to remember, I've looked back at this, but I believe that was even part of his actual motion. So I'm going to keep talking and talking and talking until we can actually get to the right place. To move forward and do something just because a decision has been made 3 months ago, that decision can be changed. especially when we're talking about taxpayer dollars, especially when we're talking about something as significant as changing our possible governance, as doing all this. So, you know, I understand you don't want to talk about it anymore, but I don't think it's gonna go away.